Hello, Brainiacs, and welcome to math. Today, we are going to be taking a look at converting measurements. I can use multiplication to solve unit conversions from a larger to a smaller unit. Converting means to change from one thing to another, and a unit of measurement is a standardized amount we can use to quantify something we are measuring. For example, we can measure time, distance, weight, or mass, and capacity. It is important to know which units are used for which types of measurements. Length can be measured in meters or inches, while time can be measured in minutes, days, hours, and so forth. Sometimes when we are given a measurement, it is not in a unit that works best for us. Luckily for us, we can convert the measurements. For our learning, our goal is to understand how and when to calculate conversions. You will always have access to a conversion chart to help you, similar to the one on screen. We will also be using both metric and US Customary units. While one can convert between the two systems of measurement, we will not be doing so at this time. We will also only be taking a look at problems where we know the larger unit and we are solving or converting to a smaller unit. When we convert from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, we always multiply. But why? Let's take a look. Let's imagine that you are trying to create some really stretchy slime. You're able to stretch your slime out 5 feet. But how many inches would that be? Well, let's picture what's happening in our minds. We know from our experience with rulers and our conversion chart that each foot, remember that each ruler is 1 foot, has 12 inches. So for each of the feet it stretches, we will get 12 inches. That is 5 equal groups of 12. 5 equal groups represents 5 times 12, or 12 added with repeated addition 5 times. This is where our multiplication chart and our knowledge of multi-digit multiplication will come in handy. So for our 5 feet of slime, we can stretch 60 inches. Always remember to label your units, since it makes a big difference in its overall amount. As a great mathematician, we can quickly see that while we go from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we divide. The opposite of going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. Why is that? Well, when we divide, we start with the total amount. In this case, the 60 inches. And we know how big each group is, but we're not sure how many groups total we would need. 60 divided by 12 is equal to 5. However, we will only be using multiplication for the problems we will be solving, because we'll always be going from the bigger unit to the smaller unit to multiply. For example, what if the slime didn't just stretch 5 feet? What if instead it was able to stretch 23 feet? Our process is exactly the same, but the numbers are now much larger. For each of the 23 feet that it stretched, it will stretch 12 inches in each foot. Now we have 23 equal groups of 12. 23 even groups of 12 is 23 times 12. Take a moment to pause the video and solve this problem on your own. Then check your work. How did you do? 23 feet is equal to 276 inches. Take a moment and check your work. Let's try one more problem for today. This time, let's convert between meters and centimeters, which are both metric units of length. If there are 3 turtles participating in a 15 meters race, how many centimeters will each turtle travel when they cross the finish line? Pause the video and try to solve this one on your own. Did you solve it? Let's take a look at it together now to check your work. If there are 3 turtles participating in a 15 meters race, how many centimeters will each turtle travel when they cross the finish line. So I'm imagining the 3 turtles setting up at the beginning of a big race with adorable little numbers on the back. Many students will get tripped up by that number 3, describing the number of turtles. But what this question is really asking me is the distance each turtle will travel across the 15-meter race, converted to centimeters. So I only need to know how many centimeters is 15 meters. Taking a look at my unit conversion chart, I can see that each meter equals 100 centimeters, which means that for each meter they travel, they will be traveling 100 centimeters, or 15 equal groups of 100. 15 times 100. Using my knowledge of multiplying by multiples of 10, I can quickly see that 15 times 100 is 1,500, or 1,500 centimeters. The turtles will each travel 1,500 centimeters. Excellent work. Hopefully now you can see both how and why we use multiplication to solve unit conversion problems where the larger size unit is being converted into a smaller unit. To share this with your teacher and to show that you've been thinking about this learning, write the phrase unit conversions in your planner on the very next day you will be in class. To be extra fabulous, if you know and remember how, you can demonstrate how to find and label the syllables in the word unit. Don't forget to have a parent or trusted adult who is watching this with you add their initials and stay curious. Love and learning.